This boy is not a human, but a descendant of dragons and humans. He always wanted to turn into a dragon soon. One day, the boy found a box. In that box was a toy of the human world. Since then he was extremely curious about that world. Gradually Armin changed until he turned into a dragon. He didn't want to turn into a dragon anymore, but his father didn't stop him either, because turning into a dragon couldn't be forced. Not long after, a group of dragon hunters arrived on the island, and Armin saw his father die at their hands. Under anger and hatred, the boy jumped down and transformed into a dragon. Memories of the Dragon clan were also awakened from that moment. For hundreds of years, the Dragon family has always robbed the human bride, then put them on the altar to burn their bodies, thereby giving birth to the dragon's descendants. Armin was also born like that. After learning about the brutal dragon race, Armin decided to suppress the blood flow. Until I can't control myself anymore, I lock myself in a ravine. When you turn into a dragon, this is your cage. For decades, Armin has always struggled with his bloodline, until one day, the king held a wedding. He wants to marry his niece Miroslava to the dragon slayer's defender, because to show off that feat, they even sang the dragon's song. Suddenly a strong wind came. The whole sky suddenly fell dark. Suddenly a huge dragon flew out. It rushed down to catch the bride. The king wanted to save his granddaughter, but it was too late. Just like that, the girl was taken away by the dragon. When she woke up, she found herself trapped on the dragon island. At this moment, behind the wall came a comforting voice. Miroslava glanced at it. Seeing that the faceless side was a handsome guy, she thought that Armin was also brought here, so I kindly raised my hand, but when your hands touched each other, then the unexpected happened. The evil dragon didn't catch its prey, so it turned away, but the man was nowhere to be seen. Miroslava took out a stone and smashed a large hole in the wall. She goes around looking for her own kind, but soon the evil dragon appears again. She just hides under the rock. She followed the cave, and ran away. She ran towards the light, and found the exit. But when I went up, I discovered that this is a more dangerous cliff than before. At this moment Armin came out from the cave. This is the secret dragon island. Miroslava awakens. The man in front of her is the incarnation of a dragon. She took a step back, then carelessly fell into the abyss. As Miroslava got closer and closer to the ground, suddenly a pair of arms wrapped around her. It turned out to be Armin. Right after his chest started to burn, the blood of the dragon awakens in his body. He eventually turns into a dragon. The dragon grabbed Miroslava, using its body to protect her, then fell all the way down the cliff. When I woke up, Miroslava was fine, but the dragon's body was badly injured, dissipating in the air, and returning to its human form. Miroslava was about to beat him to death with a rock, but thought they saved her life, so she had to drag him to the top of the cliff. She was afraid that he would turn into a dragon again, so she tied him up. Miroslava, while Armin was still in a coma, went to find a boat to leave the island, but unexpectedly, the storm came, and she had no choice but to return to the cave. Armin's back is full of wounds. Because of protecting her, these wounds are there. Miroslava couldn't bear it. She went to find medicine to treat his wound. The night was very cold and rainy, and the distance between her and Armin became closer and closer. The next day, when she woke up, she saw that there was a fire on the ground, and there were also fruits. When she came out of the cave, she saw Armin catching fish under the sun. He told her, waking up, he didn't want to take her away, but the dragon took over his consciousness. That's why I can't control it. I do something wrong. Armin promises that when her husband comes to pick her up, he won't stop her. Then they picked up a lot of human things on the shore. The two of them played together by the sea. Together they used the things they picked up to decorate the cave. Gradually Armin fell in love with the girl in front of him, but when he touched her hand, then the dragon was awakened again. Because in order to fight the dragon in his body, his consciousness gradually collapsed. At this moment he remembers the girl he loves. Love made him conquer the power of his bloodline. The dragon in me gradually retreated. But that day, Armin accidentally discovered Miroslava sneakily preparing the boat. It turned out that she was always planning to run away. At this point Armin got angry, but he did not harm her, but chased her away from Dragon Island. Not long after, Miroslava met her fiancé looking for her at sea. She lied that the dragon fell dead. From now on it won't appear again. Just like that, Miroslava returned to the human world. She put on her wedding dress again, preparing to reorganize the wedding. But what she didn't know was that on the Dragon Island right now, Armin was in pain and despair. He went to the cliff to commit suicide, jumped into the abyss. I try not to let the dragon blood in my body awaken, waiting for death in silence. At the same time, Miroslava lay down while the boat waited to get married. No one sings the dragon song this time. Everyone thinks the wedding will go smoothly. But Miroslava is not happy at all. She is not in love with this dragon slayer. Her head was filled with Armin's image. She sat up, then take off the headscarf, and say aloud, "I don't love you. I don't love you at all. I just love that dragon." People whisper and discuss. The angry fiancé pulls the boat to the shore. Miroslava saw the object and took off the rope, then stood in the middle of the lake with both hands singing the dragon's song. But after singing, the dragon she expected still didn't appear. When she was desperate, snowflakes fluttered in the wind. In a moment the strong wind rose. He came. Armin heard the call of his beloved, flew to catch Miroslava and flew to the sky. The dragon pressed her to the altar. Seeing that she was about to be burned by the dragon fire, she hugged the dragon's head and kissed it. Armin's consciousness was awakened. He tries to regain control of his body. Miroslava continued to say, "Whether you're a dragon or a human, I love them all." At this moment, the dragon's gaze changed. It burrowed its head into Miroslava's arms. Years later, they gave birth to a dragon boy, and the brave Miroslava girl who pursues love also has true happiness, and live free life on Dragon Island with Armin.